I think one of the things that makes Antoni such an essential part of the Fab Five is the heart and the sensitivity he brings. He's not afraid to just break down and cry at any given moment, and I mean that in the best of way. He really gives people kind of permission to show their sensitive side and to cry and know it's okay. If this hot, sexy, manly man can sit there and cry, anyone can.
Antoni is one of the most curious people I've ever met. He is always wanting to smell things, taste things, which sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? But what I've learned about Antoni, especially as a human, but also as a host, is that when you're curious, you start to find things and discover things that you never would have discovered unless you had that curiosity. And I think that's why I love Antoni so much.
Well, Antoni, without him, like, we wouldn't eat, and so we really need him because he needs to cook. I'm also, like, totally kidding. Like, he is heart and soul, and he brings so much passion and love to his cooking, and he really loves to teach people, and all that's really important. And his gorgeous, like, stomach that you could, like, grade your cheese on doesn't help either.
I can't live without my Antoni, so he's crucial to me. Antoni is he's so emotional. He connects with our heroes beautifully. Antoni encourages people to use food to really connect with the people that they feel somewhat disconnected from. I think that's beautiful.
You know, the thing that makes Tan and it's such a part of the Fab Five and such an amazing host is his breadth of knowledge. Tan has been running fashion businesses for years. So when he meets with someone, he has the ability to say, I can pull something from 1840 all the way up until 2018 that was on the runways or just was some trend that everyone used. And I think when you have that much knowledge, it allows you to feel comfortable in shaping what anybody does because you're always gonna be able to find something that's gonna work for them.
I think the thing that makes Tan so essential to the Fab Five is, I mean, quite a few things. But the main thing is kind of his no BS approach to everything. He's always trying to help you be better. And so he doesn't sugarcoat things just to sugarcoat them. He's direct and honest with you because he's always wanting to push you to be more and to be better. And his amazing style.
He brings a certain honest directness, but he gets away with it because he just has the biggest heart in the world. And I think people sometimes at the same time sort of like need that love and care, but they also need a bit of like a stern, like a little, like a gentle symbolic slap in the face, if you will. And Tan is always there to tell people that it's very inappropriate to wear Crocs or cargo shorts.
Tan is so funny and he's so fun to be around, and he is like also someone who brings like a really important piece of diversity to our conversation, and he is someone that like so many kids can look up to and see and just be like, oh my God, that's like, that I can see myself in him.
I think one of my favorite Tan makeovers would definitely be Jodie from season 3, episode 1. For her to realize that she could still be sexy in like a t-shirt and jeans when she thought she had to be all fancy to be girly, that was just beautiful. And you can clearly tell that he loves women's fashion more than men's. Not that he's bad at men's, he's awesome at men's. Women's fashion is definitely his passion. And so I love it when we have female heroes because you really see him light up even more.
Jonathan is a wonderful host because he can make people feel so incredible about themselves within a heartbeat. He walks into a room, he says, hello, Gorge, and for somebody who's never felt confidence like this before, that's shocking. Like, this is jarring for people in the most beautiful way. And so I think that he's such a wonderful host because he can make you feel like $1 million when you have never felt that way before.
Because he's able to use his sense of humor as a tool to help people let their guard down so that they open up and are able to experience the emotions that they've been afraid of. When you're able to use comedy as a way to help people to be their best self, kudos.
He's never afraid to say what's on his mind. He's never worried about what anybody thinks. He's always a lot of fun. He's always the life of the party. It's great because in group interviews, when the rest of us are exhausted and can't do it anymore, we know Jonathan will be just fine and he'll keep talking for us.
Our show can be very emotional. It can have a lot of weight to it when you see how these heroes sort of like open up to us and show their vulnerabilities. And I think with Jonathan, although he does approach with his heart first, he is able to see the humor in everything, in tragedy, in the lighter things in life, and he just brings a certain levity that I think is necessary, that like we wouldn't be able to operate without him.
So all the makeovers that Jonathan does are pretty exceptional because he's so thoughtful about what he's doing. But the one that really stood out to me was from season 3, Jody. She was our first episode of season 3, and her hair was down to here. She was only tying it in a bun to go hunt, and when she came out, her hair made her look like a 1970s but a modern version bombshell. And I was just amazed at wow, what he accomplished. And the fact is, most people don't know this, I was there when he was cutting her hair. It took him about 7 to 10 hours to cut her hair, and he did it in heels. That's talent.
Okay, well, Bobby's really essential because he provides the biggest bang for the buck of all the makeovers. But also, Bobby has taught me so many things through all of his makeovers. Like, if you don't know how to design your a room, find the one thing in the room that you're really into and design around that.
You know, people always say what renovation that Bobby has done has blown my mind the most. All of them. I mean, he is a one-man shop that literally comes up with a design, figures out where to shop, and then executes it in a matter of 4 days. That is talent.
That boy is the most organized person I've ever come across. We would not get to set every day if it wasn't for Bobby. He makes sure we're on time. If we're not on time, he scolds us for it. He is the ultimate mom of the group. He likes to believe that he's the chill, fun one. He is the mom of the group. He makes sure that things get done, which they definitely wouldn't if he wasn't around.
The other thing that Bobby is really great about is he's just very thoughtful. I feel like he really listens to little things that I may forget about how people live their lives that make their maybe getting ready easier or their kitchen life easier based off of things that they've told him. So he's a very thoughtful person.
I mean, Bobby is really, I see him as he's the drummer. There's something about the backbone. After we all leave, we don't know whether they're gonna keep all of the tips and the tricks and the lessons that we've taught them, but they have these new homes. And with his vertical, that's the one I actually think about the most, because whenever we leave our heroes, I always try to think about what it must feel like to wake up in a brand new home with everything just being changed and us being gone. And I think it's sad for a lot of the heroes because we build really strong connections over the week and the time that we spend together, but they get to wake up with all these new awesome things. And it's a new, it's a new life for them.
His skill set is incredible. He can take one concept, which is a photo, and turn that into a full home that can change a person's life. That blows my mind. I think he's a wonderful host.
If I had to describe Bobby as a piece of furniture, it would probably be a recliner. Something that you just want to sit with and fall into every day when you get home from work because it's just so comfortable. It knows who you are. It just holds you tight. So he's a really comfortable recliner.
Karamo is, actually for me, he's possibly the most essential member. I love all the boys and I think we bring something incredible, each of us, to Queer Eye as hosts. However, Karamo brings the heart and the emotion in the most special way because Queer Eye, the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, didn't have the component that our show now has, and I think it's so massively encouraged by Karamo. His hosting skills with our heroes are unparalleled in my opinion. He's able to get to the crux of the matter very quickly, very easily, with such heart. Yeah, he's an integral member of the Queer Eye family. I don't know what we'd do without him.
He has this ability to kind of bring everything that we all do together. Everything that the rest of us do is kind of a physical thing, whether it be redoing their home or their hair, their cooking skills or their fashion. And he kind of takes all that and lumps it into fixing this and this. And I think without him, we'd just be a makeover show instead of a make better.
It's tricky because he has so much freedom to do different things with the heroes and take them on different field trips, and he really caters it to their needs, which I think is something that we all strive to do. But for him, it can be especially challenging sometimes because it's so open and he's really taken direction in a very specific path. And I really admire how he makes it different every single week with every single hero.
We all have our moments where we can be very focused and be very thoughtful of what the person that we're working with is going through, but Karamo is always focused on what that person's going through and how he can kind of be of service to that hero every week. So he's a really good example to follow in that regard.
The Karamo moment that made me cry was the lovely interaction that he had with Jody and all of the women. And when they're all sitting and talking about themselves, and it was just I know I'm not a woman, but I really wanted to be sitting in that circle when I was watching that. I would have had a really good cry with those ladies.
You know, like these last couple of years, like I've like lived in a different city for 4 months at a time. It's been really fun, and like just working so much in different places with different people. It's been really nice to have the connection with the boys that I do have, because there's really no 4 other people who I would rather go through this with, and it's been really, really special getting to support each other in the ways that we've been able to support each other since this has started.